Hi, my name is Dracula. I want to be with you and confess. I know you don't recognize me as Drac. I've changed. We all change. On the screen you see The Scream by Edvard Munch. I knew him personally. He painted this Scream in the late 19th century. 1890s or something like that. But a year here or two doesn't make a difference. I scream too. In studio with me is my psychiatrist. And he feels it would be right for me to confess. And so I will do that. May I introduce my psychiatrist to you?
Thank you very much, Jack. It's unusual for a noted personality who's been around for a number of years to publicly confess. This is not normally done, except when it's staged, such as in politics or in business. But for the most part, people don't confess to anything. In fact, because of the legal system, they usually defend themselves despite the fact they, if you forgive me folks, may be guilty of everything they're charged with. But we live in a very civilized society where you can do what you want, and if you have enough money you can get away with it.
Thank you. Doctor, I want you to know that I am afraid for my life.
You're afraid for your life, Drac?
The food. You don't know what's in the food. It can kill you. They have pesticides.
Drac, you can buy food at Whole Food. They say it's organic.
I know what they say. Everybody says something. It's like in the investment field.
What about the investment field?
I lost a lot of money.
Drac, you don't need money. You're a person from another world.
No, I have now become almost human, and I try to make a buck.
Oh, Drac, be serious.
I am. And what goes on today, you know, they call it a portfolio. My portfolio is going down the drain.
Drac, let's talk about the food.
Yes, I fear for my life. I don't know what they put on it. They say it's organic. I talk with the people who buy organic, and some of them look like they're gone dead.
Drac, that's not very nice to say.
I know, but I want to tell the truth.
Drac, there's no place for truth in our society. You know we're on television, and there's no place for truth in our society.
You know, I know that. But I want to be true to myself. That's why I see you, Doctor. I want to be someone I can wake up in the morning and say, I like myself.
Drac, there are very few people who can do that. Most people can't wake up in the morning and say they like themselves because they don't. They have jobs they don't like. They do things they don't want to. They're run by the front office crowd.
I know. I know. But I want to be authentic to myself.
Drac, I've tried to tell you a number of times in therapy There's no room for authenticity in the society. You have to go with the flow.
I don't want to go with the flow, Doctor.
Drac, you got to be realistic.
I don't want to be realistic. Look what my life has come to. I fly by myself at night. Nobody likes me. My name is a household terror.
Drac, you're growing up, you're becoming a new personality, and you're going to get with it. Your prognosis is good to become a human being.
I don't want to be human. I see what goes on in society.
Drac, you're on television.
I know. I want to confess publicly.
Drac, you need counsel.
I want to speak on my own behalf.
Drac, you got to be careful. You can say things that people are going to be offended by, and the legal system may not like what you're doing.
I don't care anymore. I've had it right up to my eyeballs. The food is polluted. The people's minds are polluted. There's nothing that is straight anymore. Nothing is natural. I am natural.
Yes, but Drac, you're off the road. You took the wrong road.
I know. I don't want to get on the road that people are on.
Drac, you're going to have to face life. That's what we're all about. You've been doing well. Why are you so cynical? You are cynical.
I am not cynical. I am truthful.
Drac, there's no place for truth in our society. It will bring down the whole house. The whole civilization would fall apart. Overnight, people would be killing each other. There is no civilization, you know. You know, I don't want to say this, Drac, but you know, do you know why the aliens left the Earth?
No.
Because they didn't find any civilization here.
That's funny.
I don't think it's funny, Drac. It's just truth. But I don't go around and tell people that. I don't tell the patients that. I try to help them to be themselves. But you can't be all that you want to be. You can't be that authentic. Drac, you have to face reality. This is a society that is filled with hypocrisy.
I know. I know. When I used to take a little bite, everybody said everything was right.
Well, it was in a sense for you.
I know. But they never would admit they're better off when I took a little bite.
Do you really think that?
Yes, because they were so staid and starchy and standoffish, and, you know, they just weren't human.
People are people, and sometimes they almost look human.
I know, but you can't tell one's from the other because it's all staged. Everything is staged. The food is staged.
What do you mean the food is staged?
Well, they tell you it's all good and clear and clean, and they lie.
Oh, Drac, you don't want to say things like that. It's stamped organic.
I know, but anybody could stamp anything these days. And you know, if you read the newspapers, one paper says one thing, the next one says another, and the third says another, and the television is the same.
Drac, that's just the way things are. People interpret things differently.
I know. You know this fellow Arnold?
Arnold?
You know, the Schwarzenegger guy.
I heard about him, yeah.
Well, you know what he said?
No, can you tell me?
I imitate him. The facts don't matter. The people want action. That's funny. Well, that's staged. The people want action. The facts don't matter. Now they matter. The government in California has a lot of problems. The facts do matter.
Oh, yeah, they do now and then. But if you go by the facts, you'd be all by yourself. Nobody goes by facts anymore. They go by feeling, gut feeling. Drac, you operate as a feeling person.
I do.
You have to understand, feeling is in, emotion runs. Logic and reason don't prevail. That's why you need me.
I know, but you can't live with emotion.
I don't understand.
You can't live with emotion.
Of course, people live with emotion all the time. That's what they live on. They don't live on facts. They don't live on reason. They don't live on and logic. If it were all logical, it would be a perfect world.
Well, I understand that. But when I buy the food, I expect the food should be what it says.
Oh, Dracula. Come on. Be serious. You know nobody says what they really mean. And if they did, we'd all be at war with each other. We'd kill each other.
I know. Can't there be truths and decency and fairness?
Dracula, you talking to me? I'm a psychiatrist. I deal with the inner soul, what people do. They can't face reality. It's the study of the id by the odd. That's what we do. You're the odd, and I'm trying to be your id.
I know. But I listen to you, and I know things are not what they are. And they say that I'm strange, and I'm crazy, and I'm loony. You know, the whole society is out to lunch.
Yeah, I know that. But if you like lunch, why not go with it?
Doctor, it's not funny. I want to show you my cartooning, Doctor, because it helps me to be more myself. If you will look, this is how I save myself. I cartoon. You didn't know that.
No, that's strange that you would cartoon. Is that serious? I didn't know that.
Yes. And if you look at it, it says big mouse are in.
That's funny. That's really funny. I didn't know you had a sense of humor.
Oh, yes. If you fly at night by yourself, you have to have a sense of humor. You know, the last time I flew with a psychiatrist, I took a little bite.
Oh, is that what happened to my friend?
Oh, yes. And then I lost him.
Well, Drac, if you want to do things like that, you're going to lose your friends. You can't take a little bite.
I do all the time, but not anymore. I like the cartoon. And this one, I doubt that doubting changes what's in. Maybe you would look at what I do, because I like to make fun of what's in. I doubt that doubting will change what's in. Ah, ah, ah! You know, the government tells us all the time, the Hillary lady, and the Obama man, and the Huckabee man, and all of them, they all say they're for change. And then when they get in, you know what they change? They change to being in and staying in. And the truth doesn't matter anymore what they said.
But that's the way things are, Drac. You have to understand that. You're just fighting the whole society, and you're getting yourself upset. You don't want to do that, because you can die of a heart attack or stroke, but not readily, because you're still not human. But when you get to be human, you can do that. You can kill yourself because you're so concerned with what people are doing.
I want you to see what I say, Doctor.
All right. Show the people what you want. This is your time to confess.
Absurdity is in. They go around from one part of the country to the other, and they tell us they want to help us to change. And the only thing that changes is who's in and who's out.
Well, that's true. That's true. I didn't know you were thinking about things like that.
Yes, I think. I feel about what's going on, you know.
You're very, very understanding person deep down.
Yes. I want you to know, Doctor, what I think. This is what I think. And if you read what I write, if you can understand it, because my handwriting is not as good as yours, which is awful. I can't read the prescriptions for the drugs that you give, and neither can the pharmacist.
Well, those in the field of medicine don't write too well. They try to think more than they can write.
I know. And you know what it says. People are okay if you like the surreal.
You're into things, aren't you, Drac? I didn't know that you were so deep-minded.
Yes, the surreal, Doctor. The surreal. You look at people, and they almost look human. They almost look human.
Yes, well, people try to be other than themselves. That's what they're trained to be. They grow up that way. They learn that from the school system. Just don't be yourself.
I know. I know. But it isn't right.
Dracula. A lot of things aren't right, but that's what's in. You have to understand what's in. And if you don't want to understand what's in, you're going to be out.
I want to show you some of my cartoons, Doctor, because I want you to understand I feel, and I feel about what goes on. This is one that people should know. It concerns the front office. I don't know if they can get it.
Well, show it and let's see if it works, okay? If you can, folks, if you can read it, then Drac almost writes like I do. It's not all that clear. You want to read it to the folks, Drac?
Yes, I'll read it to them. I'm going to read it to the folks. And this is what it says. If you want to stay ahead, keep your head on welded tightly, because people, being people, always want to remove your head. And all, Doctor, I want is a little bite.
Drac, now remember, you got a bad habit. It's just a habit. It's not more. They tell you it's a disease. It's a bad habit. It's a disease, but it's a bad habit, and you can break it. I don't want you to be down on things and so forth. Welding your head on and so forth to keep your head. Drac, that's a downer.
I know. But if you don't watch yourself, your head will be removed before you even know it's gone. I want you to see what I think of going on.
Okay, go on. Show the people what you're cartooning. I think it's your confession time.
You know what it says?
Well, it's hard to read you. Can you want to turn it around and read it for the audience?
All right. My gimmick is to keep one eye in place and the eye out, the other one. I show it again. My idea, keep one eye in and the other out.
Drac, you have a sense of the whimsy.
Whimsy. I am whimsy?
Well, I don't believe most people will understand what you're saying.
Well, you understand me more than I care to tell people.
Yes, I understand you.
I want you to know, Doctor, what I think.
Is that what you think, Drac? Is that what you really think?
Yes. The day gets to me, you know.
Drac, the day gets to nearly everybody. When they go through the day, Dracula, they're not themselves. When they get home, they can let their hair down if they have any left, because they most often pull out their hair seeing what's going on. The office crowd, the front office, does it to us all. You know, I'm in one of those things called an HMO. That's how you're being covered, Drac. And they have administration activity that I don't have any hair left. I pulled it out.
I know that, doctor. And how old are you?
I'm only 28.
28. And you're a psychiatrist?
Well, I was bright. I was bright. I learned how to use the system, and I got through very early.
Ah, ha, ha. That's funny. You learned to use the system. Yes. If you want to make it today, you have to play the game.
No, you don't have to play the game, but you want to get on base.
Yes, that's funny. And you want to hit a home run.
Yes,
They talk about steroids today in baseball and all the sports, and nobody is taking the steroids, but everybody is on them, I hear.
Yeah, well, that's the way society is. People want to get on with their lives.
I know that. I want to find myself. I want to be authentic to myself. I don't want to be a fly at night.
Drac, cut it back. You don't have to get emotional.
I'm not emotional. I am myself.
People get very emotional. Their whole life is based on emotion, not logic and reason, like we in psychiatry. We are the reasonable people. We study the id by the odd.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, we get into the field because we're a little odd ourselves, so we like to study the id. Your id is important to me.
Well, that's nice, doctor. I want you to know what I think. And what I think, if I may tell you.
You go ahead and tell me.
People scare me.
People scare you?
Yes. You never know what they're going to do.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
One moment they're your friend, and the next moment they want to remove your head because you said something.
Well, you can't tell the truth, Drac. That's only realistic. That's what people are all about. They all want to get on. They want to be together with other people, so they all lie. It's called hypocrisy, but it gets by. If they didn't lie, Drac, the whole society would come falling down.
I know, but I want to be true to myself. I don't care about society.
Drac, don't say that. Don't say you don't care about what goes on. There are people who care. There are people who care, and I want you to be one of them.
I know. I care. I ran into a young man, a doctor, a voice doctor, who helps people to find their voice because they lost it. They have what is called a strangled voice.
What does it sound like?
Like that. They have a strangled voice, and the medical people say they can't get better. It's incurable.
Well, if it's incurable, it's incurable.
No, because there's money involved. They do 4 to 10 Botox shots each year, every year for life. They make $500 to $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. It takes them 5, 10 seconds, a minute to 2. Quite often, it's a very good living. Maybe I should go into it.
Well, we all try to do our best.
I know. They do their best. They put money on the table.
You mean food on the table?
No, they put money on the table, and that buys the food.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. That's a unique way. They don't put food on the table, they put money on the table.
Yes. And then, when a young man comes along and reports cures of a hopeless problem that the medics and the drug companies say is incurable, you know what they do to him?
No, I don't even know who he is.
They remove his head. I see it all the time. Or they don't do it physically. They do it metaphorically.
Drac, the more I have you as a patient, the more I understand that you're very deep-seated.
Yes, I've been around for years. I know how to think. I just live by the seat of my pants. I'm emotional.
Well, that's what we're going to try to see if we can straighten out.
And the food. You can't tell whose food is what.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything is polluted. The mind, the air, the food, everything are images. We are run by images.
Yeah, we are. So what's new?
We're all human.
Are you saying you're human?
We're all human, but I am trying to become more of a human being than what is in.
Well, that's a good policy.
You know, people scare me.
Well, they scare me too. I hear what they're doing.
You know, my doctor tells me I have high cholesterol.
Yeah, well, that's in now. You can suffer a stroke or a heart attack and all that.
Yes, but I'm not there yet.
What do you mean you're not there yet?
Well, if I'm not all human, I can get by. But everything now, all these people are told, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't say this, don't say that.
Well, that's the way it is.
We live, you live, doctor, in the don't society. Don't do this, don't do that.
Yes, that's true. We live in a don't society.
Doctor, I want to be true to myself.
Drac, they're going to think you're crazy. There's no room for people being true to themselves. That's dated.
I understand, but I want to be true to myself. I want to be a man.
Dracula, there's no room for people like you.
I know that. I know that. What will I do?
Well, Drac, go on the tour. Go on your tour. I'll meet with you next week.
Yes. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.